Hi Nawaz, nice to see you've written your first set of essays. Let's take a look at what you wrote here, okay? This is the one about schools, so here's what you wrote. In recent years, schools have increasingly incorporated entertainment activities and teaching methods to enhance the learning experience of children. The reason why we changed it to children is because kids is really far too informal, so we don't use it in IELTS essays ever, okay? I agree with the idea that schools should be made more entertaining. This essay will discuss how edutainment activities, especially among young children, not only encourage learning but also improve their experience at school using examples. Okay, fine. Entertainment activities such as board games, sports, and video games are a very active source of learning for young children without burdensome conventional class activities. Fine. Through edutainment, students can be self-motivated to continue learning long after class is over. For example, a recent study by Kids Health has concluded that jigsaw puzzles are an invaluable educational toy for young children. Therefore, schools should be more entertaining to encourage learning among children, or among youngsters, or among young people. Okay, something like that would be fine, but you do need to stop using kids. Okay, it's fine. We'll talk about it a little more in a minute. Entertaining activities can improve not schoolgoing. I would prefer here the entire school experience for children. These activities can improve young people's attitude as they will be more excited to go to school. Games can provide informal and engaging learning opportunities for children. The Primary Education Board, of Pakistan has recently concluded that children taught using entertainment activities in earlier years are usually more creative compared to those, get rid of the word kids entirely, who had gone to conventional schools. As a result, schools should be more entertaining as they help in long-term learning of the children. Okay? Due to the arguments and examples outlined in this essay, I firmly believe that schools, get rid of the, should be more entertaining. It is important that there is a get rid of A, that there is continuous research to improve currently employed modes of education in schools and effective use, get rid of on, effective use of technological advancements for better learning of our future generations. Okay. Okay, so this was fine. You did everything you were supposed to do. You certainly followed the template. You supported your ideas, so all of that was well controlled. No real problems. As the essay continued, you kind of started making some errors with your grammar, but nothing really serious. So for first attempt, it's well done. You answered the question. One of the things that I really liked about this essay is that you really worked on the idea of entertainment. A lot of people don't do that. They talk about methodology. They talk about like engaging teaching methods, about interactive classes, and that's not really relevant. But you absolutely did make this relevant by discussing board games, video games, and so forth and so forth. Okay, I'm talking about games and making school fun and entertaining. So I'm really happy about that. In fact, I would have to say that task achievement, which is what this really is dealing with, is probably the place where most people have a lot of trouble. So the fact that you were on topic and answered appropriately is a really great starting point. Okay? You had some nice vocabulary along the way, but again, there was that consistent problem with the word kids. I'm confident that now, having talked about it, we're not going to see it again. It will be from now on children, or some sort of synonym for children, like youngsters, young people, minors even would be good. Okay? So those are some suggestions for you. All right, so let's move on to your second essay, the enjoyable activity with a child. Great. In the last few years, enjoyable activities, instead of reading, have become a popular mode of skills development for children. I totally agree that, you know what, rather than say children again, what you could have done is you could have made it passive voice. So you could have said, I totally agree that better skills can be developed using enjoyable activities compared to just reading. This essay will outline how playing video games and sports helps children to develop some important skills using examples. Fine. Reading has numerous benefits. However, playing video games can help children to develop skills that would be impossible to develop just by reading alone. This is because by playing video games, such as PlayStation, children can develop higher order and active learning, careful, creativity, and spatial awareness skills. For example, a recent study by Harvard has concluded that the children who played video games for 2 or more hours per week outperformed in spatial reasoning tests when compared to children without a history of playing video games regularly. Therefore, video games provide opportunities for children to develop some critical skills that can't be developed solely by reading. All right, nice. Again, we have that problem with the word kids, but okay. Physical activities such as sports not only encourage a healthy lifestyle among children, but also allow them to develop cognitive, team, and social skills. This is because sports involve competition, uncertainty, acceptable levels of risk, and teamwork. Education International, in its publication on childhood education, has identified a strong correlation between sports and young people's attitude and motivation towards learning. Hence, physical activities are an important means, it's always plural, to assist children to develop important life skills. All right, good. Based on the reasons and examples mentioned in this essay, I strongly believe that enjoyable activities are more effective compared to reading to develop better skills and creativity in children. It is important to use various techniques, including both enjoyable activities and reading, for well-rounded development of children, once again. All right, so this is very nice. It's developed. It's cohesive. It was a nice read, okay? It read easily. It flowed nicely. I didn't really have any major problems with it, except for one. We're going to talk about that major problem in a minute. But everything you did was quite good. It felt like it was definitely cohesive. In fact, I felt like it was more cohesive than your previous essay. Between the two, I felt like this was the stronger one. It just felt more connected, more cohesive, okay? Let me tell you what the problem is. Now, you were supposed to discuss two aspects here. You're supposed to discuss better skills and creativity. So let's see what you talked about. You mentioned higher order active learning. You said creativity. You said spatial awareness. Spatial reasoning tests. Okay. And then here you talked about team skills, cognitive and social skills, teamwork, motivation towards learning. So essentially, you were supposed to talk about better skills, which you did, and creativity. But really, where did you develop creativity? You didn't. You mentioned it as a word once here, and then you mentioned it once again in your conclusion. That was it. That's the only thing you said about creativity. And so it definitely feels underdeveloped. They have separated it, as you can see here. They've said better skills, so that's one thing, and creativity. So the fact that they absolutely separated creativity shows you that they really want you to focus on this by itself. And I didn't see that. I didn't get that. You were analyzing creativity at all. Because just because you mention it once in the paragraph as a word, and then you mention it once again just as a word in your conclusion, that doesn't mean you've developed that part of the essay. So it's absolutely underdeveloped, and that's going to cost you in terms of task achievement, okay? This is the kind of thing that I really want you to be aware of with your writing in the future. Make sure you absolutely understand the question, that you are absolutely answering what they have asked you to write about, and all parts of the question, because usually the questions are a little more complex than people realize at first sight, okay? So it's absolutely worth spending a couple of minutes looking at the question in depth and more closely, and really making sure that you fully understand it, okay? So, on the whole, this is a very nice first set of essays, so let's talk about what the next step is. The first step is for you to correct these essays based on my suggestions here in this video, and send that back to us. In that email, you're also going to send us your your error correction list, sorry. Your error correction list is basically a list of your mistakes, and then next to each mistake, write what the corrected version would be. That's a list you're going to add to with each essay you get back, okay? So send that to us as well, and of course your next set of essays. Try to incorporate everything you've been learning in your essay, okay? And we'll be here looking forward to your next set of writing, so go ahead and get that started. I hope to see it in the next day or so, so good luck to you.